Pat Gray is here on the Blaze Radio Network.
Great to have you with us. Welcome to it. 888-933-93. Also at Pat Unleashed on Twitter. Yesterday, Alex celebrated her 500th show, and they brought in all kinds of Chick-fil-A food.
And, of course, we ate it all.
Of course we did.
Thanks, Allie. So happy 500th show.
Just wondering, we're celebrating our 1006th show today, so not sure what kind of celebration there's. Oh, Pringles.
Yeah.
There's going to be Pringles.
Yeah. Pat Head Becca sent us a big box of Pringles to celebrate our 1006th episode of Pat Gray Unleashed.
6 shows ago, we could have celebrated 1,000.
Well, I don't know how to count well. So that's it's exciting.
All right.
So we have some makeup celebrating to do, though, right? Like, what are the milestones that we've missed?
Well, 100,
100,
200, 300, 400, 500.
Okay, I'm sensing a pattern.
1,000. So yeah.
Okay.
But 1,006.
I'll check the
We're
party
celebrating
planning
today.
committee and see.
All right.
We can figure out how to.
What do you
celebrate.
get? What do you get for a 1,006th celebration?
Pringles. We've already been over
Pringles.
this.
Okay. I was thinking more along the lines of steak, but steak and lobster
I might be able to
kind of thing for everybody.
rustle up a balloon or two. We might have back here in this pile of crap.
Yeah. Maybe it's a little late for that.
Sorry.
Yeah. I think the main story of the day
Oh boy.
is this John Kerry interview with the French TV reporters or anchors. I don't know. I don't watch French TV, so I don't know who these guys are. But they sat down with John Kerry, and I don't know. You tell me if this is a big deal. I guarantee CNN won't even. I'll bet you they won't even mention it today. They won't even mention it. But watch what John Kerry said about Joe Biden.
About the nuclear sub deal that with Australia and everything?
Yeah, check this out.
And President Biden asked me about it, and I told him and expressed.
You told Joe Biden that it was not the right.
He asked me. He said, "What's the
Yes,
situation?" And I explained exactly. He had not been aware of that.
Wait,
He
what?
literally had not been aware of what had transpired, and I don't want to go into the details of it, but suffice it to say that the president, my president, is very committed to strengthening the relationship and making sure that this is a small event of the past and moving on to the much more important future.
Wow.
He literally had not been aware of what had transpired. They recalled the French ambassador from the United States of America for the first time in the relationship that goes back 240 years. Are you kidding me? He was literally not aware of it.
Yeah, it wasn't like he slipped up and said, because how'd the clip go? He said he had not been aware of that. He literally he
didn't
dug that
know
hole
anything about
deeper.
it. Yeah, he did. Yes, he did. Now he's trying to placate the Frenchies over that.
Yeah.
But you just let the cat out of the bag, and it doesn't surprise me at all that Biden is clueless about it. That doesn't surprise me in the least. What surprises me is Kerry let the cat out of the bag.
Yeah, that's something you discuss in private.
Oh,
with
my
him.
gosh.
Like, man, I'm sorry, but I mean,
Wow.
He
didn't know.
he wasn't.
He didn't know. He's just not aware.
And you don't even say it like that to the French in
I know.
private. You know what I'm saying? You figure out
you
a
don't.
way to nuance it.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
He's so busy. He didn't have time to bother with your stupid things. That's what you say.
Know your place, France.
Your dumb little feelings don't really matter to the president. So beat it and get out of my office. But that's incredible.
And it's sad.
It's tragic.
And it's the truth. It's like, Obama used to say, oh no, do we have the clip? I heard about it on the news.
Yeah.
Like literally, I bet that's what Biden did. He's like, what is all this stuff? Why is France mad at us? What is this? Somebody clue me in.
I mean, of course that's happening because the guy is out of it. He's out to lunch, and he's not coming home for dinner. But for that to come out in public like this, he literally didn't know what was going on. He didn't know what was going on with the French situation. Everybody knows about that. They recalled their ambassador over it. They were pissed out of their minds over it. The president of the United States didn't know? But there's no problem there cognitively, right?
Oh, no.
You know, he was told and he forgot
Well,
or whatever. It didn't stay with him. He has no retention. He doesn't have cognitive skills. He can't retain memory. Wow, that's absolutely astounding.
I think it's just that he's not even the decision maker. You know, like that. I really, it very well could be that he forgot, but I don't. I bet he never even was clued into this stuff.
You gotta at least have heard about it on the news.
Okay, but that's probably where he heard about it.
And I said that's ridiculous, man. Joe Biden, I heard about it on the news, and I said that's ridiculous, man. That's it. But then I forgot.
Yeah,
I forgot about it.
So I was like, I gotta talk to John next time I see him.
What the hell is going on? Yeah,
it's
wow.
And you remember how the Biden presidency was supposed to make America great in the world again after Trump ruined everything.
Yeah.
Wow. What has Joe Biden done internationally? You know, he screwed up Afghanistan beyond any possible scenario we could have dreamed up. Mm-hmm. He was the first president held in contempt by the British Parliament.
Right. The French withdrew their ambassador.
First time ever, our oldest ally, and it took till Joe Biden to piss him off enough to pull their ambassadors home.
In the midst of all this Chinese stuff, Taiwan just said, Australia will help us. They're really helpful on this stuff. They didn't even mention us. Why? Because they know they can't count on us.
Joe Biden literally ran on restoring alliances. Mm-hmm. All the stuff Trump destroyed internationally, I'm going to repair.
And it's the exact opposite.
The
exact opposite. Then he was in Michigan yesterday saying who knows what.
I don't know what this is at all.
But see if you can decipher it.
Parenthetically, when you build a charging station, it's like back in the day when my grandpa worked for the American Oil Company back in the turn of in the 1920 in that area. They went from state to state convincing people that they put
not the turn of the century.
Put 20,000 gallons of gasoline under the ground. They didn't want them around.
What?
It's good. Turn of the 1920s.
Oh, that's bumming it.
Thank you.
Oh, jeez.
So that's why they don't tell him stuff about nuclear sub deals.
Right.
Because
he doesn't need to know.
Yeah, I mean, just go.
It's on a need-to-know basis.
He's literally playing president.
Outrageous. It's just outrageous. I mean, and nobody's talking about it. Is Fox even talking about this? Have you seen it on Fox?
I have not seen. I haven't seen the John Kerry.
Yeah, I haven't either. But come on, this is important. You've got a man who's not fit for the job. He is clearly unfit to be president of the United States. I don't say that in a mean way.
Yeah.
It's just a fact. He's unfit. He can't be president.
And I'm not trying to be flippant either when I say, would you hire this guy to be a Walmart greeter?
No.
Like the guy that puts the sticker on the item you're returning over here. I wouldn't even trust him with that.
Welcome to Target.
No, you're at Walmart. No, it's Walmart. You're wearing a blue vest, old man.
Thanks for coming to Kroger today.
Gosh. No, bro.
We like Kroger food.
Yeah, and don't even get me started on the liabilities with children walking in its midst.
Sniffing everybody's hair as they walk in.
Come here, little girl.
Don't sniff them.
Here's a balloon and a back rub.
Oh, man. Seriously, unfit for the job. Unfit to be president like no one I've ever seen before. I mean, Jimmy Carter is a freaking Rhodes Scholar compared to this guy.
Jimmy Carter today
would be better. Would be better. He would.
So true.
Man, I can't take it. It's the United States of America. And this is the leader that we've chosen. Congratulations, everybody.
Don't say that when I'm drinking my coffee here, dude. We chose him.
The proof of the pudding is in eating.
He's got a lot of cute little sayings, doesn't he? That's great. That's good.
Yes, he does.
Then you got its vice president, who's terrific as well. And she's made some Jewish groups mad, a little bit upset with her. There's several problems, but here's some of the problems that she's caused with the Jews.
Vice President Kamala Harris is in damage control mode
CNN.
after this exchange with a university student earlier this week.
There were funds allocated to continue backing Israel, which hurts my heart.
Hurts my heart. You back
It's
Israel.
an ethnic genocide and the displacement of people. And I think that
genocide.
the people have spoken very often in what they do need. And I feel like there's a lack of listening. And I just feel like I need to bring this up because it affects my life and people I really care about's lives.
Harris responding in part.
Glad you did. And again, this is about the fact that your voice, your perspective, your experience, your truth,
Your
should not be
truth.
suppressed.
There it is again.
And
Your
it
truth.
must be
No,
heard.
it's not about
the
her
point
truth.
that you were making
It
about
must be heard.
policy that relates to Middle East policy, foreign policy, we still have healthy debates in our country about what is the right path. And nobody's voice should be suppressed on that.
Israeli publications jumped on Harris for not pushing back
Good.
against the student's characterization of Israel's actions towards Palestinians as ethnic genocide. And sources tell CNN calls came into the White House from several
bet
leading
they
Jewish
did.
organizations
Bet they
expressing
did.
their concern. The vice president's office is now scrambling to minimize the fallout, putting out a statement today saying the vice president strongly disagrees with the student's characterization of Israel, that it was a student who voiced a personal opinion during a political
Why didn't you
science
say
class,
something then?
emphasizing the vice president has
Unreal.
been unwavering in her commitment to Israel.
Talk about another person who's unfit for the job.
Right.
You've got a student there that is accusing Israel of genocide. You've got a perfect opportunity to correct a complete falsehood.
So easy. I mean, that
From
was teed up for her.
An impressionable youth here that knows not what she's talking about, and you could have corrected it.
But there's two things aside from Kamala Harris missing a golden opportunity to show unwavering support for Israel. It's the fact that report, and we cut it short, was on CNN.
Yeah, that's pretty staggering.
CNN called her out on that, and we were just talking about
Amazing.
where are they on this other. They actually did their, and the graphic at the bottom was ready for prime time. What is their angle here? Why are they trying
I don't know.
to point out how much she sucks as well?
I don't know.
Because she does.
I don't know.
And
That's amazing.
That's amazing. Thanks CNN for reporting. We're praising CNN for reporting facts, basically.
Right. For reporting news the way it should be reported. Because she obviously did. She screwed over an ally. I mean, when you just stand there and say you're entitled to your truth, no, you're not. No, there's no her truth, my truth. There's just truth. It's either the truth or it isn't. And there's no her truth that Israel is committing genocide. They're not. That's no kind of truth. That's not mine. That's not yours. That's not any kind of truth. So correct it.
Right. I mean, she said, there's
despicable.
a lot of debate still to have on the Middle East.
It's
Okay.
despicable.
And then you say, but I would vehemently disagree with your characterization of Israel
Yes.
being guilty
Yes.
of ethnic genocide.
Right.
And you could get deeper into this if you want to, but you at least have to say that.
You do.
Oh.
Yes, you do. I mean, as a talk show host, when somebody says something outrageous on the show and you just let it lay there, you're taken to task for that. She's the vice president of the United States and let that lay. She just let it permeate. And you can't. You can't do that.
And honestly, CNN actually went out of their way to point this out because you can hear the audio. They had to crank up and filter that student's audio because she was so far off mic. Oh, that's right. And talking through a mask. You can't understand anything. They really went out of their way to make this a point.
did.
Yeah.
They did, to their credit. Yes, they did. All right. Let me tell you about Gabi Insurance. It's crazy how fast the prices of just about everything are rising. Gas, groceries, clothes, you name it.
Joe Biden's America, baby.
Yep. All the experts are saying it's going to get worse before it gets better. I've been looking at all the ways I can personally cut costs, ways to save, where we can. And I started, this was a while ago, with my auto insurance, and I started with Gabi. Shopping for auto insurance sucks. I get it. I know it's a hassle. And then what happens is if you start putting your information into these search machines of some companies, then you're going to get all kinds of spam and garbage coming your way in your email. Gabby doesn't do that. That's one of the reasons I love it so much. They do all the work for you. Things that would take days or weeks, Gabby does in minutes. They use your current policy. You just upload it to them, and then they'll compare your current coverage with 40 of the top insurance providers like Nationwide and Travelers. They're the one true comparison platform with fast, verifiable quotes, not ballpark guesses, because they've got your information that you've provided them. And then if they tell you that, okay, there's nobody who with a lower price, then you know you're paying the best price you possibly can. But usually they're going to find something that's much better for you. It's not just me who loves Gabby. Gabby has been featured in TechCrunch, Forbes, and USA Today. Start saving on your auto insurance today. Go to Gabi.com/unleashed to start. It's totally free. GABI.com/unleashed. Gabi.com/unleashed.
Pat Gray Unleashed.
Facebook whistleblower Frances Haugen.
No, I like this exercise.
I have not paid attention
Corby,
to her
what
name.
is it? You watch the news like 24/7 in there, dude. How do you pronounce her name?
Frances
Haugen?
Yeah, okay, we're going to go with Haugen.
I like it. Almost no one outside of Facebook knows what happens inside of Facebook. Here's some of what she had to say yesterday.
It's a company.
Mm-hmm.
During my time at Facebook, I came to realize a devastating truth.
Devastating.
Almost no one outside of Facebook knows what happens inside of Facebook.
Yeah.
The company intentionally hides vital information from the public, from the U.S. government, and from governments around the world.
Do they?
The documents I have provided to Congress prove that Facebook has repeatedly misled the public about what its own research reveals about the safety of children, the efficacy of its artificial intelligence systems, and its role in spreading divisive and extreme messages.
Oh.
I came forward because I believe that every human being deserves the dignity of the truth.
Mm-hmm. Is that way you came forward? This
is theater,
driving us out of our minds. This whole kabuki theater that they're doing is a complete setup. You know, they're telling us that this is all about free speech and the 3 or 4 things she just named there, when the goal here is the exact opposite. This woman's a left-wing activist. Does everybody know that? Nothing good is going to come from this. She's a left-wing activist. She's not there trying to bring free speech and equal treatment to all to Facebook or the internet. That's not what she is doing. They're looking for government to intervene. That's what Mark Zuckerberg wants. That's what this so-called whistleblower wants. Facebook is going to help them write the new rules regarding the internet. That's what's going to happen. That's why you see the ads on television, on network TV. They bought a huge ad campaign about the fact that internet laws haven't changed in 25 years. Isn't it time? No, the internet should be regulation free. Leave it alone. It's fine the way it is. Leave it alone. Why do you want the internet to be regulated? Well, because they're going to rewrite the rules and lock competitors and conservatives out of everything. That's the goal here.
Yeah.
And that's what she's about. She's the outrageous things that are said on Facebook. She's not talking about the left-wing things that are said on Facebook. She's talking about the conservative things that are said on Facebook, or the things that people perceive as conservative things. They're planning to lock the right out of everything. That's what this is about. She's not here as a helper, a savior. Like I'm gonna make sure Facebook is fair now. That is not what's going to come out of this. Here's some more of what she had to say yesterday during this Kabuki theater.
Left alone, Facebook will continue to make choices that go against the common good, our common good. When we realized big tobacco was hiding the harms it caused, the government took action. When we figured out cars were safer with seatbelts, the government took action. And when our government learned that opioids were taking lives, the government took action. I implore you to do the same here. Yeah. Today, Facebook shapes our perception of the world by choosing the information we see. Even those who don't use Facebook are impacted by the majority who do. A company with such frightening influence over so many people, over their deepest thoughts, feelings, and behavior, needs real oversight. But Facebook's closed design means it has no real oversight. Only Facebook knows how it personalizes your feed for you. At other large tech companies like Google, any independent researcher can download from the internet the company's search results and write papers about what they find. And they do. But Facebook hides behind walls that keeps researchers and regulators from understanding the true dynamics of their system. Facebook will tell you privacy means they can't give you data. This is not true.
Wow.
Please regulate us.
So disingenuous. That's what they want. I mean, they're advertising for it. I mean, they are advertising for it.
I mean, Mark Zuckerberg said 3 years ago to Congress. Yeah. What's the quote? It's right there, right there. What was the Mark Zuckerberg quote from 2018? What did he say to Congress?
We'd be fine with Congress regulating Facebook. Well, yeah, they want them to. Again, they're advertising for it. So this is not hurting them. This is what they want. I wouldn't be surprised if they set her up to do this.
Oh, yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if she's on the payroll to do this.
I just want to know what was purged when the Facebook net was down Monday.
Yeah,
what was that all about?
Right. That's interesting too.
It's just
as this began.
It's just a coincidence.
Isn't that fascinating? Yeah.
You know, it was between the 60 Minutes appearance and her appearance at Congress. It was, I mean, it just happened to happen right then.
Mm-hmm. That's amazing. An amazing coincidence, Keith. That's what that is. It's an amazing coincidence.
Yeah.
You know what they should do is let's have a hearing about the fact that Mark Zuckerberg stole the whole stinking platform.
Snap.
From the Winkeldinkies, or the
the
Winkledinkles, or the Winkleberry twins, whatever they are.
No, it's Winklevoss.
Okay,
I think.
Yeah, the Winklevoss thinks.
But let's change it to
Winkeldinky Thinkles.
Yeah, Winky Dinkle
Winklethinkles. The guys who got $50 million for Facebook. Then I think they went back to the well, didn't they? Like 10 years later.
Wait, and this dude, Mark Zuckerberg, lost $10 billion. Yes, on Monday.
Day. On Monday.
This is net worth, like as of right now. I want to see. Will Google tell me?
It's got to be. It's probably over $100 billion.
Okay, what's his name?
I'll bet you.
Mark Zuckerberg. How much did you guess?
$100 billion.
122.7.
But he gave them $50 million. That's
awesome.
That's like he carries that around in his pocket.
That's like
change for him.
Grandpa, can I borrow some money?
Oh, sure. Let me give you a nickel. 50, 60 million. Will you go away for that?
Oh, I was going to say, that's the equivalent of us saying, here's a nickel.
It's like a quarter to him.
You go. Wow, shiny nickel.
Thank you. I think they eventually got more. Okay. If I remember correctly. I don't remember.
So if I'm looking up the net worth,
I think they got more.
I need to type in the Winkeldinky. Wait, what do I do?
The Winkledinkles.
Winkledinkles. Let's see what comes up here.
The Winkledinkle twins.
Ooh. So their combined net worth
is
$6 billion.
Holy cow! So they're billionaires too now.
I think didn't they do that with Bitcoin though?
Wow.
Not because of Facebook?
Bitcoin was part of their deal. They've also created something else, something new that was their own, and I think it was pretty successful. I mean, they're smart guys; they were going to be successful no matter what. But they got ripped off on the Facebook situation. But let's look into that. How about that, Mark? How come you're not advertising for that? Why won't someone look into what I did to the Winkledinkle twins?
Right. Hold on a second. The twins own. Is this part of their worth? Their net worth? 70,000 bitcoins.
70,000.
All right, where's my calculator?
Oh, man. So it's 70,000 times 50,000.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what the price is for Bitcoin right now, $50K.
Is that 350 million or is that 35
million? Too
million?
many zeros. 3.5.
So if we put the 18
that's how they're
minute
doing
together
this.
along with the 7 minute together, you got 22 minutes. You sell it with 8 minutes of ads, you got 30 minutes.
That's
Right, there you
where
go.
they're getting their wealth here, I guess, because it's 3.5 billion.
Oh, wow. Jeez. Okay. Well, good. There you go.
Cool.
Deal with it.
Winkle.
So the Winkle Dinkles turned out to be okay. They're all right. I'm not that worried about them anymore. But still,
I don't know.
Still, that's 120 million to 6 billion. 122 billion to 6 billion. That's really not fair. But I'm sure they're okay.
Yeah, I mean,
They're getting by.
they're not crying poor mouth.
No.
But
They're not wondering
it's-
where their next meal is coming
It's
from.
not exactly justice.
It's
is
not.
what you're saying.
Well, it's not.
Right.
Yeah. It's a lot like, and Bill Gates is the other guy. Stole everything he did from Xerox and IBM. But that's another story. All right. 888-900-3393. And at Pat Unleashed on Twitter. Now, Biden wants the Senate filibuster to change on the debt. Says it's a real possibility. Now, if the shoe's on the other foot, and these are Republicans talking about these are the most evil people on the face of the earth. How dare you even think you're going to do this? How dare you? How dare you even consider it?
But I mean, it's for a good reason, right? Like they're going to save the world by blowing past the filibuster rule.
Sure, by increasing the debt so we can spend as much as we want. And you know what? This $1 trillion coin thing is the real thing. They're actually, I think they're going to do it. I think they're really going to print. They're going to mint a $1 trillion coin. How does that help anything? It's not backed by anything. It's meaningless. But that's a non-inflationary way we can increase the debt ceiling.
We're not even worthy of being called a banana republic at this
No, we're
point.
not. No, we're absolutely not.
We're aspiring to be that. I'm trying to find, your audience reminded me when we were talking about the $1 trillion coin last week that in The Simpsons, they minted a coin with Montgomery Burns' face on it. And what was that worth? It was similar to that, and it's like, we are literally a cartoon.
Literally. Literally. We're literally coming up with cartoon solutions here to our real world problems.
Yeah.
You know what? Print a $1 trillion coin.
Yeah, it was a $1 trillion platinum coin.
That'll get us right past the debt ceiling. That's fine.
What is our deal? I mean, we are so far off the path, man.
And if you're going to do this, why stop at $1 trillion? Why not make it a quadrillion? And then you'll never have to worry about it. Well, not until, I don't know, probably March. When we hit when we become $2 quadrillion in debt, but you'll have until March before you have to worry about it.
Give us some breathing room.
Yeah, do $2 quadrillion and kick it down the road till March. Why wouldn't you?
Right.
What's the difference? It's still backed by nothing. By nothing.
Oh my gosh, what is our at the moment U.S. debt? 28.8 trillion. So
$28.8.
So let's just do. Why don't we just do an even $100 trillion coin, or 10 coins worth $10 trillion each?
Right.
That's where I cap my math abilities, and then just give us some room.
Who was it that said that we should do $2 trillion?
Oh, that was Ilhan Omar, right? Or Tlaib, one of the two.
It was Tlaib, I think. Rashida Tlaib. We needed to do two $1 trillion coins. But they're only talking about doing just the one.
See?
So they're really a lot more
We're still going to have
reasonable.
debt. We need a $100 trillion coin. And it was Rashida Tlaib. Yeah.
Unbelievable.
It was just... We're out of words,
amazing.
man.
Yeah. 888-900-3393 or Pat Gray Unleashed coming up.
No! It's Pat Gray Unleashed on the Blaze.
Welcome. Great to have you with us. 888-900-3393. Also at Pat Unleashed on Twitter. Jeffy joins us today. Came into the studio, and we have our friend here for Halloween.
Yeah, Mr. Bones, right?
Yeah. He was sitting there in Jeffy's usual seat.
And how about no?
Jeffy got all sad and depressed.
Angry,
There's
even.
something in my seat.
Yeah, he was
Why is there
sad.
something in my seat? Why is something sitting in my seat? And so
Is that
we
what it
had
was?
to
Is that what happened?
accommodate.
Yeah,
Fat
that you were
man,
all.
yeah.
So we had to move the skeleton so that Jeffy could have his normal
Yeah.
seat, and he wouldn't be butthurt this morning. So,
Because he wasn't happy about that.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Because now it is time
Didn't say anything about it.
for chewing the fat.
Yeah. We
What, Jeffy?
Say a thing.
You did online.
There's something in my seat.
How about no?
The skeleton in my seat. Why is there a skeleton where I'm supposed to sit? I'm supposed to sit there where the skeleton is.
And the skeleton was just staring at you like he was daring you to move him.
Is the skeleton more important than me? Why is there a skeleton in my seat?
Doesn't sound like what I.
Oh, that's exactly how it went down.
That's exactly how it went down.
And then
There's never been a skeleton in
Right.
my seat before.
So he was sad.
Why is there one?
And then as the
skeleton.
skeleton continued to ignore him, then he just got angry at it.
I did. He did. I thought they were gonna go downtown. Take their little beef outside.
Look at him, he's still staring at you.
All right.
You see where he's sitting?
I do.
Okay.
Yeah, he
He's
did
in
move.
the next seat.
All right, that's right.
He moved.
Damn right he did. Amazon has rolled out Black Friday worthy deals. A side note, 51 days until Black Friday.
Wow.
But
Wow.
the company said customers should expect deep discounts across every category. And they also rolled out a tool that allows Prime members to send gifts to people without putting in an address. Now, Target is also kicking off its holiday promo next week to attract customers who want to knock off their shopping list early. Already feeling like the longest shopping season ever, retailers are attempting to give themselves breathing room to accommodate delivery delays caused by what some are calling supply chain bottlenecks. Factories in Asia have been closed due to COVID lockdowns. Shipping containers are hard to find. Companies are struggling to hire workers to staff ports and drive trucks. Heads of companies are saying they've never seen it this bad. You know, the broken global supply chain, the supply chain bottleneck. So be ready. Be ready for empty shelves and nothing to buy.
No kidding. I got a quick question. So they're talking about this oil pipe that got dragged by an anchor off the coast of California. Was that from the ships that were waiting that had to drop anchor because they're out there? Over 60 ships are just sitting there anchored off the coast of California. Is that what happened?
I don't know.
Are the stupid
or if
policies?
it was sabotage.
There were 90 at one point.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Oh,
Is
maybe,
it less
maybe
than 90
Oh,
now?
maybe,
I don't
that's
think
what it
so.
is.
Yeah,
okay,
it's
maybe that's
90.
the number. All right, but
Yeah.
Wouldn't that be something? If these stupid policies of continuing to pay people not to work in California ended up causing an indirect environmental crisis because
Wouldn't
of all
it?
the ships that are sitting out there
Yeah, that'd be interesting.
knocking out pipes.
Wouldn't surprise me. I'm sure, with the they'll be back on it. Our leaders, don't worry about it. They're
Our
on it.
leaders.
They're on it, Keith.
Who's
Don't
our
worry about it.
leaders
It's
again?
fine. They're
Out
on
in
it.
California, we got Newsom, and who's the president
Oh, my
again?
gosh.
Biden. Oh yeah, they're good.
I give you my word as a
They're
Biden.
good.
Yeah.
That's what he has to say about it.
Yeah, let the president.
Those are his thoughts on the crisis.
Yeah, let the president finish before you start speaking again, Jeffy. Come on, show some respect. Okay.
Does he even know there's a crisis?
It's a good point. I doubt it.
Does he know he's president?
He didn't know about the French being
That
pissed
is
at us.
amazing.
Let's see. They recalled their ambassador. Wonder if something's going on there. Wonder if the president should maybe be hip to that situation.
Are you mad?
Just an idea.
Are you mad?
What happened with you
What's
guys?
going on? Why are you guys leaving?
Just because we left you out of the negotiations with the nuclear submarines.
Don't be mad.
And why would you? I don't understand.
I don't
even
either.
understand the French thing. Just us, the UK, and Australia. Why wouldn't you include the French? Why?
I mean, they're usually in the club, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're supposed to be
unless
part
you
of the
want
club.
to, insult them. And maybe that's what the point was.
Maybe it is.
We want you to know that you're not a world power anymore. Okay, we're going to put you right in your little place. Go make some croissants.
Don't
and
do
shut
what
up.
your little Frenchy French world wants you to do, but you're not with us.
Right.
Okay.
Go surrender to the Netherlands or something. all right?
Don't give them any ideas, man. They will.
Well, the Netherlands punches above their weight.
They do.
I'm pretty
We know
sure they
that.
could take
Absolutely.
France. Yeah.
Absolutely. We do know that.
True.
And it could be a bottleneck or a broken chain coming to Hollywood soon. The International Alliance of Theatrical Stage Employees, the IATSE, voted to authorize a strike a couple weeks ago, but that could halt TV and film production around the country. It's the first time in the union's 128-year history that members have greenlit a nationwide strike. So the conversations with the Alliance of Motion Picture and Television Producers, which represents the big studios and streamers, broke down. I guess they're back at the table now, but we don't know. Your shows could be history.
What would you do with yourself if there were no new shows?
This
Jeffrey?
cannot happen. We have to negotiate and make this happen. Call me.
Right.
I'll sit down. I'll be the mediator, but we need to make this happen.
This could affect you greatly.
I mean, they're asking for higher wages from streaming companies. For one thing, a 2009 agreement allowed streaming services with fewer than 20 million subscribers to pay workers lower than standard wages because it was intended to help the streaming become more popular at the end of the video blockbuster
It's obviously
world,
ancient now and
which
needs to be
is
updated.
No kidding. And they're also demanding shorter work days. Those 14-hour days that are norm are just too long. We can't do that. And they want 8 hours before the next shift, and they want at least 10-hour turnarounds, and they want to be able to commute and sleep, and they want 54 hours on the weekends. I mean, are we working? Are we making a movie? Are we making a show? What are we doing? Let's go.
Let's get it made.
Thank you. Just get to work. All right, let's go. A reminder, subscribe to Chewing the Fat, my daily podcast. No charge as of right now. Available wherever you download your podcast. Might as well go to space news. Science fiction soon becomes reality as William Shatner is scheduled to launch on the next crewed space flight on Blue Origin. Captain Kirk, now one of the passengers on the company's New Shepard rocket. The launch is planned for October 12th. Audrey Powers, the mission and flight operations vice president, is joining the flight crew of the four with a Planet Labs co-founder and Metadata co-founder. Blue Origin, we're going to be able to see it again, the live webcast starting at 8 a.m. on October 12th. Shatner's trip will be the second human spaceflight for Blue Origin's tourism. I love how they're calling it the Tourism and Research Rocket, New Shepard, which successfully launched Bezos in July.
That's kind of fun.
I know. At 90, Shatner becomes the oldest person to fly to space, topping the aerospace pioneer Wally Funk, who is 82.
Oh, I love it. Right here in Dallas-Fort Worth.
A trip on Blue Origin's New Shepard lasts about 10 minutes from liftoff to landing, and it takes about 2 minutes for the crew to be floating in microgravity for a couple of minutes.
Microgravity, yeah.
Bezos said that his company has sold nearly $100 million worth of tickets to future passengers.
Wow.
Now that's at
Did you buy a ticket
that's
yet?
at reported $250,000 a ticket.
And you didn't buy a ticket yet?
So
that's a lot of people.
That's a lot. That's a lot.
Wow.
He said he planned on
That's quite a backlog, though.
Yes, it is. Now,
How do you get that done?
especially when they're only doing 3 crewed missions this year, right? So this is the second one. They've got one more this year.
Yeah.
And, that's quite a backlog.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
We're going to have to
That's a lot.
come up with a couple more rockets, perhaps.
Perhaps.
Yes, perhaps.
Indeed.
And we all know that what Bezos' rocket looks like.
It looks
why are
like
you
a...
laughing?
Because our guest is staring a hole through your head. He's not happy about being displaced by your fat
He's
butt.
pissed. He's pissed. He was here before you were. So he's really pissed that he had to sit.
Much before you were. He does not like this, bro.
I'm about ready to knock that damn thing over. I'll tell you. Lucky's still sitting there. So we saw what Jeff Bezos' rocket looks like, and I loved what Oscar Mayer tweeted the next day. They said to Jeff Bezos, "Hey, call us the next time you want to ride a wiener into space."
That's funny.
And then NASA tweeted a little bit ago that they were looking for input from private companies on a potential replacement for its Astrovan to drive astronauts to the launch pad for the Artemis moon missions. And, of course, Oscar Mayer said, hey, we got you.
They are awesome. I mean, some of these social media accounts for companies are run by really creative people.
That's really
that's
funny.
One of
That's
them.
really funny.
That's good stuff.
We may as well stay in space. The first all-civilian crew of astronauts that orbited the Earth 3 days after SpaceX Falcon 9 rocket launched them into space. The systems, we know now, were warning the crew of a significant issue, and they spent hours trying to figure out what was going on. Just a little scary. As it turned out, it was the toilet. There was a problem with the onboard toilet. So according to them...
What was the problem? Was it stuffed up?
The fans were broken.
There was doo-doo feces thrown all over the walls,
yes.
the floor, the ceiling, and it stunk so bad.
Yeah, pretty much.
Zero gravity.
There's no... there's no guarantee what comes out. Goes where it's supposed to go. So waste does apparently go in every possible direction. So the toilets have fans inside them, which are used to create suction, and they pull waste out of the human body and keep it stored away.
Gosh.
So those fans were not working properly, but they apparently didn't go into detail, but they said that there wasn't a problem and there were no issues in the cabin
That's
that
the first
relates
time
to
I've
him.
ever, because in zero gravity, it would have to pull it out of your body.
Correct.
Right?
Correct.
I hadn't thought of that aspect.
Well,
That's really unpleasant.
We know now
that's unpleasant.
that the
I don't want to think about
the once
Yeah.
confidential government
We
documents.
spent a lot of time on this one.
Way too much.
During the 1969 Apollo 10 mission, the crew that saw Thomas Stafford, John Young, and Eugene Cernan. I mean, when you think of astronauts, you think of Thomas Stafford, John Young, and Eugene Cernan as they went around the moon. Stafford reported back to Mission Control on day 6 of the mission that multiple pieces of waste were floating through the cabin.
That's
And then, because back then,
that's gross.
back then, the waste management was a plastic bag taped to their butts.
Really?
So you get the idea. There's more to the story, but you get the idea.
I don't think I knew that before.
No, it was just
that.
released. It was undocumented. It's stuff that was.
I could have gone a long time without knowing it too. I really could have. A lot longer.
Didn't see that in the movies, did
You probably don't have to worry about that on the
I
Blue
didn't.
Origin or the Virgin Galactic, though, because that's just a theme park ride.
Wow, jeez.
I know.
Taped to their butt.
Unbelievable.
Oh, I know.
Really? That's the best we could do in 1969?
69, yeah.
Okay, so we had the technology to get you to the moon, which we don't have now.
Thank you.
But you couldn't go to the bathroom.
Well, you could.
Okay, except
You
in a
could,
plastic
yeah.
bag that was taped to your butt. That's gross. That's nasty.
There's audio released where he talks about, hey, get me a napkin. There's a turd flying around the cockpit.
Oh,
I
man.
know, nasty.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Nasty.
no worries about the mega comet either, as long as we're in space. No, don't worry about that mega comet headed into our neck of the woods. The Bernstein comet. It's roughly 10.9 AU from the sun. At that distance, it most likely will brush by Saturn's orbit in a decade from now. So 2031. So maybe. It might. We don't really know. And I don't have to tell you, but for the audience, an AU is the distance between the sun and Earth. So it's 10.9 of those. Researchers think it originated in the Oort cloud, which, of course, is a hypothetical zone that encircles the solar system ends and includes billions of comet-like bodies. But there's only circumstantial evidence that hints at that existence for that zone because, according to them, there's lack of actual observations. Yeah, no kidding. So in the coming decade, the comet will likely put on quite a display for the astronomers.
Voyager 1 and 2 have both been past the solar system barrier.
I think the latest report was, though, that they don't think it had. They reported that it had, but they...
Well, it hadn't when they first reported it, but now I think since it has. So they should have some data on that.
Okay.
I thought.
How many AU away is that?
I don't. A lot farther than 10.
AU.
That's a lot of AU.
And I don't know that it's made it to the Oort cloud yet.
Maybe not. I don't know, but it's. I mean, Pluto is what, 3 billion? 3 billion miles? And they went way beyond that.
Yeah.
They're way beyond Pluto now.
So I don't know if it were to get close, real close. It may look like the fireball sighting this past weekend, mainly over Colorado, but was seen in Wyoming and New Mexico. 12 people submitted videos to the American Meteor Society.
Oh, cool.
This video captured on a porch camera in Commerce City, Colorado. You see what the fireball appears to drop out of the sky, and this whole thing was,
yes.
and a whole blue
Yes.
haze, and then just go away.
Wow,
That's
that
so
was
cool.
cool.
That was really cool.
Remember the
Show
entire-
that again.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
Play that again. That's really cool. How it just drops
Yeah, do
out
that.
and lights up.
The entire month of October is supposed to be great for these
This
meteor
kind of
showers.
stuff?
Yeah. So and cameras are everywhere. Look at that.
That's really cool.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Like that.
Wow, I love that. And we'll say congratulations. Moron Trivia was correct. Again, today we're 2-2. We've won the last two. It was fun watching Brady come back to Foxborough. Love-hate relationship there. He set National Football League record.
You can't leave any time on the clock left for him. If it's a back and forth game and you just scored, then there better be 0-0 on the clock.
He now is the
'cause you're not
NFL's
going to win.
all-time passing leader. It's nice that he set the record in Foxborough.
That is funny.
I loved the big billboard that was purchased outside of on Route 1 on your way to the stadium, where the guy bought. He's a little unhappy with the deal, and he said the owl is no longer wise without his goat, Jake in Boston.
That is great.
I love the audience. I love the crowd as they cheered him pregame and then
booed him.
booed him during the
When
game.
it came
It was
time for the-
awesome.
that's-
Was that
But they
classy.
gave him a huge round of applause
Yeah, it's
when he
classy.
set the record.
Was
too,
that
so
Bill
I like
Belichick's
that.
record without Brady up there as well? 62 and 74? Is that what that was? Oh, I got to look this up.
No, there hasn't been that many.
And welcome to it. 888-900-3393. Pat Unleashed on Twitter, where Jeffy's Fold Mold tweets. So many different aspects of your body that have broken off and begun Twitter accounts. It's really amazing.
I know.
It's amazing.
Nice.
Joe Biden would be the best person to tell the national secrets, since everyone will think he's just a rambling old man and no one would ever take him seriously.
True.
It's perfect.
I like it.
I mean, the guy, that Michigan clip is just another example of him just lost.
Lost.
It's embarrassing.
Very lost. Yeah,
I mean,
play that
I know
for
we
us.
laugh at it, but it's just embarrassing.
Well, if we have that, play it for us.
Oh, yeah.
'cause it's
1920. Around the turn of 1920.
Parenthetically, when you build a charging station, it's like back in the day when my grandpa worked for the American Oil Company back in the turn of in the 1920 in that area. They went from state to state convincing people that they allow them to put 20,000 gallons of gasoline under the ground. They didn't want them around. But
What are you talking? What are you talking about?
He
What are
doesn't
you
know.
talking about?
And by the way, just as a side note,
Mm-hmm.
what he is talking about is when they were burying the gas tanks at the gas stations from the private companies, not the government.
Right. I still don't know what his point was.
Yeah.
Because he wants people to believe in the charging
I know.
stations.
I
It's
know.
agonizing.
Yeah, and he's making an environmentalist point there, but we haven't buried.
He doesn't even know what he's talking
We haven't
about.
buried gas in a long while. It's been illegal for a long time to do that. Rowdy Introvert tweets, Joe Biden was supposed to be a moderate. He's not. Joe Biden was sold as a competent statesman. Not even close. Joe Biden was supposed to fix everything. The fix is in and everything has been destroyed.
Or it's going to be destroyed.
Yeah. Vern Lundquist tweets, I almost forgot Kamala existed. Now I can't get her cackle out of my head. You're welcome.
Yeah, they really tried to put her in the background for a little
tried.
while, and it hasn't worked because whenever she comes out, man,
she's terrible. From Aaron Grenade, have a big celebration party, guys. You think you don't have it in the budget, but actually, it'll actually cost $0.
Oh, that's good.
Right, for our 1006th show,
Yeah.
which is today.
Today is the day.
And yesterday it was Allie's 500th show, and they got really delicious.
Yeah, well,
and a lot of Chick-fil-A.
Yeah,
I mean,
well,
a lot.
Yeah, but Becca, Pat had
But
sent
Becca
us
took care of us.
Pringles.
She sent us Pringles, even not
nice.
even knowing it was our 1006th anniversary show.
Maybe she did.
So how does this count then?
Do you want some of these Pringles that I
love
accidentally
Pringles.
opened already?
Heck yeah.
Yeah, see, I just, there you go.
All
No,
right.
I don't want the sour cream.
Oh, you don't want sour cream?
No, I don't.
He doesn't want. That's bougie. Oh, what's your bougie
barbecue?
sour cream?
The regular
And onion potato chips.
Cheddar cheese.
Bougie.
Here, regular.
Yeah, just the regular.
There you go.
Yeah, just regular without the bougie sauce on it.
It's not
Don't
sour.
share with the skeleton. He's giving you the stink eye still. I don't care for that.
All right. Speaking of
things that cost zero, right?
things that cost
Like our party.
zero, like this big celebration party, Jen Psaki told us how much Biden's plan is going to cost us. This is good.
Following up on something that you just said, you said that the president's going to have a virtual meeting with House progressives to talk about how this Build Back Better package is now going to be smaller than $3.5 trillion.
Smaller
But you
package.
had been saying that it cost zero. So are you now admitting that the plan does not cost zero? Or is it less than zero?
Well, let's not dumb this down for the American public here. What we're talking about is how much the top line investments are, which are all paid for. So
Which are
therefore
all
it costs
paid
zero.
for.
No matter
Therefore, it
what
costs
the
zero.
cost or size of the
Pays for
top line
itself,
investments are, we
We're
have ways
gonna-
to pay for it. So
Really?
the point is, that's important to the American public, all of your viewers too,
Unreal.
is that this is not going to cost the American public $1. We're going to pay for this by asking corporations, the highest income, so people under $400,000.
Are they
I should
Americans
say,
or not?
Corporations' highest income to cover the cost of these necessary
Pause it for a second. All right, she just said it's not going to cost Americans anything. It's
Even
going to
your,
cost
even
zero.
your viewers.
Yeah, it's not going to cost them
caught that?
anything. So people who run corporations, work for corporations, people who are wealthy and have made it a success of themselves, they're not Americans?
Sure they are, but they need to pay their fair share, Pat.
Well, not only that, but
This
why do
Marxist nonsense.
Why do we
it's
need
too
to
much.
raise the debt ceiling? Why do we need to borrow all this cash if it's going to cost?
If it's going to
nothing?
cost zero, right? Wow.
Oh, she just got pissed with it.
Yeah.
She sure
Ducey's
did,
like, is
'cause
it less
Ducey
than
doesn't
zero
let her
now?
get away with
Is
this
it less than
garbage.
zero now?
Right. Okay, if it's going to be only $2 trillion, then it must be
Right.
And we were paying zero at $3.5 trillion.
Yeah.
We must
That's
be
awesome.
making extra money in
Yeah,
the process.
yeah, and Ducey even slipped that in there. So it's
Yeah.
going to cost less
Is it
than
less
zero?
Than zero? She was pissed. Let's not dumb this down.
He's really good.
Yeah.
He's
what-
been quite a pleasant surprise.
Okay, so when we had a Blaze reporter there at the
Mhm.
White House, and maybe we still do, but they never called on the individual, right?
Very
They never-
rarely.
So how is it that
I don't know.
I don't know how that works.
I've wondered that too.
They got roped into that. I think they started that because they thought that he was, a Fox and a Fox guy that was new and did Ducey, and they were. I think they feel like he wasn't going to be that good, and now he's turned into someone they can't ignore. They can't ignore him.
But they could ignore him for a while until it became its own kind of news item.
It is interesting that they seem to call on him every day. I mean, every day. We've got some
Yeah.
good clip with Peter Ducey and Jen Psaki.
Maybe Jen just
It's
likes
great.
to fight.
Maybe.
Maybe
Wouldn't
they've got
surprise
a
me.
little something going on. A little something.
Ducey and Psaki?
I don't know that. I don't know. Maybe there's a little.
Maybe there's
little White
little
House
business.
press secretary business going on.
Just because we share a theory off the air.
Just saying it's possible. It's possible.
All right. Well, Joe was in Michigan yesterday, and Michiganders were really excited to have him there. Really excited to have him. Here's a guy summing up his excitement.
Tell me, what are your thoughts about the president visiting tomorrow?
I wish you'd just stay out of this state and leave us alone.
I wish you would just stay out of the state and leave us alone. That's every state. That's everybody in every state right now. Come on.
That's awesome.
I got to go back to my favorite story of the day, and that's John Kerry saying Joe Biden literally didn't know anything about the crisis with France. I wish he'd go away and leave us all alone because he's unfit to be president of the United States. It's play the Kerry thing again when he's with these Frenchies.
And President Biden asked me about it, and I told him and expressed.
You told Joe Biden that it was not the right.
He asked me. He said, "What's the situation?" And I explained exactly. He had not been aware of that. He literally had not been aware of what had transpired. And I don't want to go into the details of it, but
Yeah, 'cause
suffice
it's too
it to
embarrassing
say
for him.
that the president,
You opened the can of worms, John.
Sure did.
my president, is very committed to
I don't want to go to the details
the
of it.
relationship and making sure
Okay.
that this is a small event of the past and
Right.
moving on to the much more important future.
I don't want to go into the details, but he talked a lot about pudding and where his pants were. He seemed very concerned about his pants because he wasn't wearing any at the time, and he wondered where he'd left them.
Wait, you're
But
saying
I don't want to go into the details of that.
Your president wasn't wearing pants?
Right, that's right. He was literally not wearing pants and literally asking me for pudding.
Your president was asking
for pudding and wondering where his pants were at the time.
I don't want to get into that.
But I don't
want to go
again,
into details.
I don't want to get into the details. Just suffice it to say, he literally doesn't know what's going on.
Oh.
Here's a crisis with our literally oldest ally. And he didn't know anything about it. Literally
Wow.
didn't know anything about it. Now, Kerry was trying to placate these Frenchies, but it doesn't matter because nobody's going to pick up on it. Obviously, nobody's talking about it. I haven't seen a word on Fox or CNN or anywhere else about this. I can't. This goes to his cognitive disability again.
Yeah, I know.
And no one even will bring it up. Except us.
Let's go, Brandon.
Yes.
Right?
Those chants are going to get even louder this weekend,
sure
I have
are.
a feeling.
And
Joe
the next weekend.
Biden.
And the next one. We kind of need to see them not only in sports arenas and stadiums, but out in the streets.
Mm-hmm.
That's where I would love to see them.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Let's go, Brandon.
Who was it that said, I kind of enjoy the chant, but not when my kids are there? Who was saying that?
I don't know.
Someone that hates America, apparently.
Yeah, no
Somebody who
kidding.
hates America.
Whoever it was, zip it.
Rob tells me it was Laura Ingraham. Does that sound right?
Laura Ingraham? No. But she probably said it too.
Okay.
I don't know. All right. Maybe it was. I don't know.
So some.
I really don't know who said it.
Yeah.
Also, Biden's administration said yesterday the United States has more than 3,700 warheads. Why would we give that number out?
Yeah, I don't know.
Why would you give that specific number?
That was my feeling of the story.
As of September 2020.
Do we believe him?
Yeah. Does he know?
That's true.
But it was a report done by the administration. You know, the same administration that apparently doesn't inform him when we sell nuclear subs.
Now, we've dismantled 11,683 nuclear warheads.
Oh, come on.
Between the fiscal years 1994 through 2020. So now that's why we are only at 3,700 now.
Okay. So you hear those numbers and you're like, what? Why are we dismantling? Why? But there is a fun fact in that story that makes you feel a little bit better, right?
Yeah, it's that China has their stockpile is in the low 200s.
Okay, all right.
I mean, do you believe them?
Yeah, it's true. All right, I don't need this.
China's not an enemy.
Yeah.
All right, I apologize.
Okay, so the maximum number of nuclear warheads we had stockpiled at one point,
our high water mark,
was 31,255 in 1967.
Wow.
Good times.
Good times. Good
Wow.
times.
Not getting those days back.
Nope. No, I don't think we are.
37,000?
31,000.
31,000?
Yeah.
Oh.
31,000 warheads. Now, the Soviets had, I don't know, probably about that number as well. And I don't know where they are now because every time we dismantle, I have no confidence that they're doing it too. Even if they've signed a treaty, they're not doing it.
Please.
They're not doing it. So my guess would be they've got about 35,000 and we have 3,700. That would be my guess.
Let's see here. Okay,
do you think there's a place that
China's got
talks
to have more than
more
what you
than
say,
a couple
200?
hundred? Yeah.
Stop it.
We could shoot down 200.
Right?
Right?
Come on now.
I say we beat them in a nuclear war. I say.
Oh, China? Yeah.
Yeah, I say we win. By the way, Joe Bastardi is coming up in the next, about a half an hour or so. And apparently he's got some information about winter weather. Little preview across the country.
Oh, yeah.
We're going to have some some cold winter weather.
I hope so.
I do too.
I have found a website
like global warming
that purports, let's see,
Russia nukes?
6,257 in Russia. Yeah.
Still double ours, right? Double our stockpile.
I don't like that number.
I don't either.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
But you're absolutely right. Every time we sign a treaty or Bush used to sit down with Pooty Poot, they weren't doing what we said.
They weren't.
Yeah.
And it didn't matter to the left because then they would say, well, let's just unilaterally do it. We'll set the tone.
Hang on a
Yes,
second.
we have to be the
okay.
one.
That's a good idea.
That's what we're doing with the Paris Climate Accord, too. It's us.
Exactly.
We have to be
You
the
can
leaders.
trust
in that.
Putin. Come on now. Just got a note here from up high here in the company. Apparently, regarding who the White House calls on at these press hearings with Psaki every day, the front row seats are reserved for the biggest outlets and longest-serving members of the White House press corps, and traditionally those seats always get called on if they have a question. So Psaki's calling on him out of tradition. Amazing. The Biden administration still following a tradition.
That's
so there
about
you
the
go.
only one. That's
So there
about
you
the
go.
only one.
Yeah. Thanks, Gaston.
888-900-3393. We got to show you this photo of, you've heard about the FBI has been sicked on the parents of these school districts.
The terrorist parents out there.
Terrorist parents. Thank you, Jeffy. Yeah, the ones who are complaining about things.
Yes.
How dare they?
Shut up.
How dare you complain about critical race theory? How dare you complain
Come in
about
here and
masks?
question the authority of the school board?
So they deserve to be investigated and
Yes.
monitored by the FBI. Okay? So here's FBI agents. Here's your preview of how they're blending in at the. This was
already?
a recent PTA meeting. And there they are blending in nicely.
You don't even know they're there.
Yeah. Which one's your kid?
Really
That
funny.
is awesome.
That's from that event where they were trying to blend in with with the the rally.
Where there were more FBI agents and there were actually people in attendance for the rally.
Yeah. It's the J6 Justice thing.
Yeah.
That's nicely done, though.
It's awesome.
It's really, really funny. Also, a Minnesota mom says CRT teaches her kids they'll never be able to make it. Thank you for that.
Oh, the FBI's probably already got a file on her going.
Yeah, they've bugged her house already.
Yeah, this is good stuff here.
Minnesota mom recently told her local school board that critical race theory teaches her black children that they'll never be able to make it.
I'm here to ask the district to stop promoting critical race theory and Black Lives Matter. People who support CRT say people like me and people who are against CRT are racist. That's their only defense. Yet CRT is racist. It tells kids of color like my children that they will never be able to make it, and white kids that they are inherently racist. When I was a little kid, I had reoccurring dreams about the KKK when I was 7 years old. And now people who look like this are being told they're racist in this school. And it is absolutely appalling. And you might say,
Thank
I've heard
you.
people, we don't have CRT. We do have CRT in this school. I see it every day. My kid said they're already started with it. He's already miserable about having to start school. Last year, you gave my kid an assignment to read an article out of Scholastica Kids entitled Making Our Voices Heard that told him he would face racism in every facet of his life, from education to the workplace to healthcare. He showed me this article because he found it very discouraging. In the middle school, after George Floyd's killing, they sent out an email and they actually segregated kids by race to talk about it. In the email, it said, we will have a group for whites, for blacks, for Asians, for Hispanics. I couldn't even believe it that we're going back to segregation after all we fought for.
Thank you.
Wow.
In middle school, you segregated kids of color by having the kids of color
All right,
stand
your
up,
time's up.
and the white kids stayed out, and you offered kids of color
wrap this thing
$10 to give away all their personal, private, disciplinary
Take off your mask,
information
hon.
to an outside
Please.
organizations. And I've
Please.
also heard from teachers here that you have a policy like Minneapolis that discourages teachers from disciplining kids of color because, as the Isaiah group says, disciplining kids of color is a pipeline to prison. Well, I have to tell you something. Not disciplining them is the pipeline to prison.
Thank you.
Telling them
Oh,
they
my
don't have to be accountable. That they're stinking animals. They're not like white people who can behave. We have lesser standards. We don't think they're truly equal. I don't think you think we're equal, and it's appalling to me.
Yes!
Systematic racism does not exist. We used to have systematic racism. It was called slavery, and segregation, and we fought alongside each other to end it. It doesn't exist. BLM said they're fighting for the liberty, the liberation of black people. We are free. Breaking news, we are free.
Yeah.
Wow.
Amen.
Good stuff.
I mean, that gives me hope again.
Right?
That gives me hope.
Well, and the FBI, blending in at that meeting.
Yes. Yeah, that was helpful, too.
Probably followed her to her car.
I bet they did.
I bet they did, too.
I mean, that's brilliant. First of all, she picks up on, and they should, the racism of low expectations.
Yes.
And it's not even it's not even the shadow racism anymore. It's just blatant racism of low expectation. Like blacks can't make it unless we help you make it out there because
Seriously.
everything's against you.
What I heard in that brave woman's speech were things that you have been saying forever.
Yeah.
But she's saying it.
And that makes it so much more powerful.
She's an African-American woman at her local school board meeting saying what Pat Gray is saying. Hopefully, it will have an effect there.
I hope so.
But I think
she's also defending white people. Like she held up a photo of a white woman and said, "You're making this person out to be racist? Why? They're not."
Thank you.
That's amazing.
We are allowing our schools to destroy our children in so many ways, whether it's on race or gender, or with the masks everywhere. Constant. And by the way, can we show this? There's something going on in that picture. The lady on the far right, speaking of the masks, I have never seen a mask that tight on someone's face in my entire life. What is happening there? Like, if you have to wear a mask.
She's almost been mummified.
Right?
All right. Going online without ExpressVPN, that's like changing while leaving your window wide open. You might not have anything to hide, but why give random creeps a chance to invade your privacy?
Like this one right here that joins us in the studio a couple times a week.
Look at the expression on it. Why would that be a problem?
Why is that a problem?
Why is that a problem?
It's a good thing.
Give everybody a chance to enjoy it.
Yeah, that's our buddy.
When you go online without a VPN, internet service providers can see every single website you visit. You might think like I would, I'm not doing anything wrong. I don't care. Well, you don't know what you're doing wrong and what will be considered wrong and what isn't. That's why I love this stuff. That's why I love ExpressVPN. And then they can also legally sell your information without your consent to ad companies and tech giants, and then you get all kinds of crap that you don't want. I really hate that. When you use ExpressVPN, ISPs can't see your online activity. Your identity is anonymized by a secure VPN server. Your data is also encrypted. For maximum protection, fire up the app, click one button. It's so easy to use, and you can use it on all your devices. So, secure your online activity like I've done mine, visiting expressvpn.com/unleashed. Go there today, expressvpn.com/unleashed, and you can get an extra 3 months free. expressvpn.com/unleashed.
Pat Gray returns.
Great to have you with us. 888-900-3393. Oh, no. Billie Eilish is in Austin. She had a message for Texans. Oh, darn it. Here's her message from the Billie Eilish.
All right, cool. Yeah. Love Billie.
I feel really bad.
She's in Texas.
When they made that a law,
They made a law about abortion.
I almost didn't want to do this show.
Oh, don't say that. Please don't say that. Don't.
Because I wanted to
No.
punish this f***ing place for allowing that to happen here. But then I remembered that it's you guys that are the f***ing victims.
Oh, wow.
And you deserve
Thank you, Billie.
everything in the world. What about the
Yes.
And we need to tell them to shut the
Oh, no.
No, we need to tell you that. We need to tell you that, Puddin', since you don't know what you're talking about.
It's Billie Eilish. What are you talking about?
Yeah, it's Billie Eilish.
My body's mine.
My body, my choice! Except when it comes to everything else! My body, my choice when it's about killing the children inside my body!
No, it's my body, my bleeping choice. You misquoted, young Miss Eilish.
My body, my effing choice!
I mean, she almost almost
didn't come
to a
How
paid,
horrifying
to a paid
would that
show.
have been?
I know.
What would we have done in Texas if Billie Eilish hadn't graced
they
us
might have
with
shut
her
down
presence?
Austin.
They would have shut it down. Yeah, shut it down.
Wow. Tragedy averted, though.
Oh, man. Yeah, thank you.
Yes.
And she says, "You guys are the victims."
No, they're not. They're all here.
The babies.
The victims are the ones who are being murdered in the womb. Those are the victims, Billy, but thanks. All right, let me tell you before we get started again about real estate agents I trust. You know, because trying to sell your home is a challenge. People are moving all over the place trying to find some sanity. I think that's one of the reasons that so many people are moving right now is because they're just looking for a place where there's people around them who are like-minded.
Yeah.
And with realestateagentsitrust.com, you're going to find the people who know whether your house should be repainted. These are the guys to talk to, or girls, or men, or women, or, you know, the...
Point of personal privilege.
Yeah, okay, go ahead. Mm-hmm.
Please do not use gendered language to address everyone.
Okay. That's a really good point. Thank you. Got the number for if you should replace your stairs in the backyard, if you should replace your countertops, repaint, all of that stuff. These are the people who know. Real Estate Agents I Trust. It's Glenn's company, and when you have the kind of agents who work with us, working for you, you can rest assured that you're going to be in the hands of a capable team of people who will see your selling process all the way through, from the day you interview them till the minute you sign on the dotted line. Same goes for buying a home. When you choose your agent through Real Estate Agents I Trust, you've just partnered yourself with a competitive winning machine, a team of people who are going to see it through to the end for you. Real Estate Agents I Trust. The name says it all. realestateagentsitrust.com.
This is Pat Gray Unleashed.
It is. Yeah. I just saw headline, CNN's doing yet another Princess Diana event.
Nice.
Because there just haven't been quite enough yet. We need another one.
Do we?
Yeah, it's time. It's time.
I love the Royals, man. I can't get enough of them.
What?
You love
I know you don't like them, but I can't
No.
get enough of them, man.
I just don't like hearing about them. I don't have
Have you
anything
watched?
personally.
Have you watched The Prince?
Prince
on HBO Max yet? By
No.
Gary Janetti. It is hilarious. I mean, well, I say if you watch it, it's kind of a big guy show.
It's a big guy show?
Yeah, it's a big guy
Does
show.
it mean only fat people can watch it?
Oh.
Is that what
No,
it is?
It's a big guy
Like
show.
people who
is
are
what I'm saying.
overweight.
That works.
That
works.
A big person like you.
So he's talking
So you
about-
got to have some girth to watch this show.
Big guy show.
Is what you're saying.
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
All
If
right.
that's what you heard, yes, that's what I'm saying. It's a big guy show.
guy show. You got to be super fat to watch it.
I think it's a really big guy show.
Anyway, you should go ahead and watch.
How
The
long's
Prince.
it been on?
For quite a while now. It's on HBO Max. So it's really funny.
All right.
It's called The Prince.
The Prince.
Gary.
So it's obviously rated R
I,
or TVMA or whatever.
I don't remember.
Yeah.
I'll have to find out.
All right.
I don't ever pay attention to any of that.
We got Joe Bastardi coming up in a few minutes, which is
Awesome.
Appropriate. Al Gore was just talking out his rectal cavity again this week.
He was?
Yeah.
Is there video evidence?
Yeah. There is.
All right.
He talks right out of his rectal cavity. It's kind of weird. But he's accusing fossil fuel companies of
Wait,
deceptions.
That's not the video we have, I hope.
I don't know.
Oh,
Let's
no.
see. Let's see if
Why
it's
not?
the one.
That is the video. I don't know.
Fossil fuel companies still to this day
There it is. There it is.
financing absolutely false information,
False information.
to try to deceive people into thinking that the climate crisis is not real or
Right.
not that bad,
That's not-
or that they have solutions in
looks
their
good.
purview. The CEO of one of the giant oil companies,
One of
Chevron, said the other day
Chevron.
that they're going for renewable natural gas. Well, that's ridiculous.
That's ridiculous.
There is no such thing.
There's no such
and
thing.
it's yet another in a long line
looks good.
of deceptions that are
From you.
designed to fool
Yeah.
the American people.
And he
into
would know
thinking
about that.
This is
He would
not
absolutely
something
know
they
about
need
that.
to be concerned about. But they are concerned about it. And in
Not
the last
really.
3 months alone,
No.
1 out of every 3 Americans has experienced one of these climate-related extreme weather disasters.
Pause it.
You see behind
Which is no
me,
different than any other time in human history, by the way. 1 out of 3 have experienced some kind of climate disaster. What? Drought, floods, hurricanes, tornadoes,
Fires.
fires,
Ice, cold, whatever.
I mean, that happens every year.
What's the scientific term for that, Pat? You say it's like,
Weather? Like weather.
That's
Weather
the
happens.
word.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah, I
the
think it's
word.
weather. I think that's what it is. All right, let him continue to
yeah, in
babble
front of his
with.
cult leader background. What?
So weird.
You see behind me, this is
I
a
do see it,
picture
yeah.
from one of the space shuttle missions that shows how thin the atmosphere is, the troposphere, the part where the greenhouse
always looked like that,
gases are collected. We're putting 162 million tons into that every day as if this is an open sewer. And the accumulated amount now traps as much extra heat every day as 600,000 Hiroshima-class atomic bombs exploding every 24 hours.
Oh my God.
And most of that heat's going into the ocean.
And most of that heat
going into the ocean.
is going straight into the ocean. And you know why that is? It's because that's how the planet works.
Open sewer.
Right.
Because as CBS reminded us
Thank you.
years ago,
Oh my gosh, one of my
Carbon
favorite
emissions
clips.
also trap heat. Today's report shows oceans have absorbed 90% of that heat, raising ocean temperatures by half a degree. Had all that heat gone into the atmosphere, air temperatures could have risen by more than 200 degrees.
Right.
So if the Earth didn't work the way it does,
Right.
We'd all burn up.
Right.
Yeah. By the
We'd
way,
all burn up.
That's a fact, by the way.
That's a fact.
renewable natural gas that Al Gore says doesn't exist. I'm reading about it right now on Joe Biden's EPA page, the Environmental Protection Agency, EPA.gov. All about renewable
It
natural
doesn't
gas.
happen. There's no such
Al said
thing.
it.
No, it's like
There's no such thing,
look at
Keith.
this. It says
renewable natural
It's EPA.gov.
I actually believe there's no fossil fuels. That's what I believe.
Right. I know.
I've mentioned that
and
before.
I believe you're correct.
a good one.
It's
That's
a
a good theory.
reoccurring goo
I
in
like
the
it.
earth.
Yes.
We just can't run out of it.
Right.
We've tried. They've tried to tell
we've
us.
said we've said that we've said that we're going
Over and
to.
over.
And
Over and
whenever one place tends to go a little low, another place becomes omnipresent. Oh my God, look at all the oil we have.
Exactly right. And yet we continue to get the hysterics from Al Gore.
Hey, I went down to Miami and saw fish from the ocean swimming in the streets on a sunny day.
On a
the
sunny
same thing was
day.
true in Honolulu just 2 days ago, just from
That's
high
right.
tides because of the sea level rise now.
level
We
rise.
are going to suffer some of these consequences, but we can limit and
What I'm
avoid
saying.
the most catastrophic consequences if we accelerate the pace of change that's now beginning.
Right. In fact, I'm inspired to
thinking of it,
think about it.
It's a classic.
Just for a moment. Because here's the thing. Someone told me long ago our SUVs have got to go. I know. Climate change is killing us. Now, Greenland's melting, as I've said. Pretty soon we'll all be dead. It's true. And there is consensus. I want to know, have you ever seen the fish?
Where?
I want to know, have you ever seen the fish? Swim down your streets on a sunny day. Frightening is what it is. As I've said right here before, the sun is cold, CO2 is hot. I know. It drives up our temperatures. A carbon tax is what we need. ExxonMobil just needs to bleed. Are you a climate denier, I wonder? Again, here's the thing. I want to know, have you ever seen the fish? I want to know, have you ever seen the fish swim down your street on a sunny day? And so on.
And so on?
And so on. And so on and so forth. It's time to tell you about Omega XL. If you're in pain and you want to get out of it, and maybe you've tried, everything you can possibly think of to do it, please give this a shot. Omega XL. I was skeptical too at first, but then I finally gave in and I finally tried it, and it started to build up on my system. And after about a week, the pain started to subside. After 2 weeks, it was gone and has not returned. Omega XL. It's got an off switch to inflammation. It's the omega fatty acids, and they get it from the waters around New Zealand. So this stuff is great. It's backed by 35 years of clinical research. They know what they're doing. To get you started, when you go to omegaxl.com/Pat and order your first bottle, we'll throw in a second one for free. That's buy one, get one free at omegaxl.com/Pat, or just call them at 800-844-4888.
Pat Gray.
So here we are, October 6th already. Time to start looking towards what things are going to be like. What should we plan on for, autumn and winter weather? I mean, last year they said, this is going to be a really cold winter. And everybody's like, okay, it's Texas. That's not going to happen. And then we got those, how long was it? A week? 10 days?
It's too long.
It was a long time of just frigid, ridiculous temperatures that we just don't see around here. But it got below zero in certain places at certain times. Mm-hmm. So we wanted to talk to Joe Bastardi about what he foresees coming up this year, and talk to him maybe about the climate change madness as well. Meteorologist Joe Bastardi. You know him from the weatherbell.com, and he's the author of the book, The Weaponization of Weather in the Phony Climate War. Joe, welcome to The Blaze. Hi.
Well, it's great to be here and great to talk to you about this matter. I wanted to get out in front on what is going on behind the scenes here, not only with the threat of a lot of cold, especially in the heartland this year, the northern plains into the Great Lakes. And you say, well, it's always cold there. Well, actually, it's not always cold there. But what's going on behind the scenes with Biden energy policies is that it is limiting our ability to respond to these things.
In what way? How are they doing that?
Well, what happens is it's getting tougher and tougher to produce fossil fuel-based energy products.
Oh, yeah.
And with coal especially. And coal is still, and should be, a very vital link in our nation's economic and energy lifeline. And what's happening is a lot of these coal companies are really being put under pressure to try to ride this administration out, and hopefully that someday it goes back the other way for them. They're hardworking people. The coal we burn is very clean if you're worried about CO2. And so what's happening is there is not. It's not. Well, neither am I. But guys, that's not the problem. The problem is you have an American public, a large enough segment of the American public that doesn't believe that. So you've got to be able to try to counter that kind of thing. That's why it's a phony climate war. The real agenda is to destroy the nation's economic base, and of course, it leads to. I mean, you discuss it all the time. I hear you guys talking about it all the time. This is straight out Cloward Piven. If you create a dependency on the government, whether it's with energy or with any other thing, guess what's going to happen? Anyway, what happens is that you saw it in Texas last year.
Sure did.
20 to 25% of your grid is based on renewables. And I don't have anything against renewables. As a matter of fact, it's the first derivative profit center for me. By that, I mean an energy company, and all our energy companies have already gotten our winter forecast. All right, they need a long-range forecast, but wind and solar need it every single day. An oil company doesn't need it every single day.
Mm-hmm.
So here's what happens. When you put 20% of your grid on renewables, what's going to happen if that 20% goes down and you have, let's say, the demand spike to twice normal? Well, you saw what happened. And the craziest thing is the circular firing squad, because the natural gas compressors in Texas use electricity to push the natural gas to the generating station. So what happens is if there's no electricity, they can't do their job, and then AOC steps in and blames fossil fuels.
Right. And on top of which, the renewable energies, while we have 20% or 25% of that is expected to be part of our grid, but it never produces that much. So it always underproduces what they claim it's going to produce.
But it's a good supplement. It's a good thing to have, and it's a good thing to, let's say if you can...
It's a backup system.
Not even that. It's if you can save usage on other days, where there are days that you can actually use it. It's why I think it's so attractive on businesses and houses. If you can save 30% electricity cost on your house and use 30% less electricity, someone else gets to use that. But okay, let me say what I'm concerned about, and I want to get out in front myself, or Chris Horner. Over at the American Competitive Institute, I believe, is also talking about this, is if you get a 10 to 15-day stretch of extreme cold, which we're probably going to get, we do almost every winter, and this winter we may get it even worse, in, let's say, Chicago or Minneapolis or this area of the Midwest, you will then create the situation for blackouts. And cold kills more than heat does. Yeah. And we saw that last year in Texas, for instance. You can adapt to the increase in warming. So you will get blackouts. We're calling these potential Biden blackouts. In the meantime, the left will then turn around and say, see, there's not enough fossil fuel to do this. It's fossil fuel's fault. And this is what they do all the time. It's a hideous practice, and I think it's deceitful. And what happens is the part of it's our fault, because there are not a lot of Watchtower people out there. If you ever read it, I believe it's Ezekiel, in the Watchtower, there's not a lot of people screaming about it like you guys are. What is happening is, in the mainstream media, I can't even believe, I'm 66, I can't believe the media I see today. They just simply buy the story, and no one looks underneath the first line, like, oh, this is the worst ever. In my book, what I simply do is refute every one of their claims with 5, 6, or 7 examples of how the weather there was worse drought, worse this, worse that, worse hurricanes. My goodness, if we were getting hit by hurricanes the way we were in the 1930s, 40s, and 50s, people would think the apocalypse is coming. But if you don't know that, then when an Ida shows up or a Harvey shows up, people go out of their mind, and this is what they're doing. And I appreciate you giving me the chance to get out in front on this issue, because it's wintertime. It's supposed to get cold. God forbid we ever have a winter like we did in the late 70s or even 2013, 2014. Do you know New England, because of what they did with natural gas and nuclear power, was no more than a day or two away from being blacked out in the 2014-15 winter in February that year. So it's worse now, because at least we had 4 years of Trump policy. So just a heads up, I think in Texas there's a lot of variability this winter. I think it could average out actually warmer than normal, but the problem is you get these 10 to 15 day stretches. Like last year, we were way out from my company. I have a huge company in Houston, Orion Holdings. And we forecast from Alaska to the Caribbean with them, and Texas is a prime place. They're based in Houston, like I said. And what we did with them is we got out in front of it a week away, so those guys were all ready on Wednesday before. And I was trying to get it out. I'm not saying this hindsight. I mean, even some people admitted, he was telling us about this on Monday and Tuesday. But we were so obsessed with the impeachment that was going on of a president who wasn't even coming back to office, that no one would listen to what was the equivalent of a Category 5 weather event for Texas. That was the biggest freeze since 1899. And I'm going to tell you something. If you go back and look at the maps of 1899, and this is why my company jumped on it so much, because that's what I'm all about, history. And the weather is no different than other historical perspectives. History tends to repeat itself with different variables around. I go, my goodness, this looks like the maps of 1899. Now, your problem today in forecasting is the average forecaster is not fascinated with the past, simply believes today, now I'm not going to say the average forecaster, but a lot of the forecasters, because of the climate change agenda, simply believe that, oh, well, this is the worst ever. I shouldn't go back and look at what happened. Well, if you looked at 1899, you could see it coming as plain as the nose of my Italian face, which is pretty plain if you've ever seen a picture of me. So that's basically what we got going on here, guys.
What do you say to? I mean, we just played a clip from Al Gore this week where he's talking about all of the the greenhouse gases that wind up in the troposphere, and that 1/3 of Americans have experienced some sort of climate change,
cataclysmic climate event.
Yeah. What do you say to that kind of stuff?
You can't. Yeah, it's like it's like arguing with a tree. Yeah, look, no, I'm dead serious. I'm an old environmentalist. This is the biggest joke in the world. Okay, what do you think is going to happen in California if there are 4 times the amount of people living there now than there were in the 1930s? Where, by the way, wildfires were 10 times greater than what they are now. You don't even know that. Do you know that this year's wildfire season is actually slightly below normal? People who think they can build Miami Beach on a man-made sandbar,
right?
Right. One of you can't talk to them, and they're so now. There's some guys on the other side that are very smart. I read their writings. I understand exactly where they're coming from and why they're concerned about this. But it's a matter of attribution. There are so many variables. When God created the majesty of the atmosphere, okay? In fact, it's interesting to me. It's a spiritual lesson to me because that's the way I am, okay? The heavens declare the glory of God. The problem is you get guys now that think they are so smart. They go around to Paul and Corinthians and said, those who know what they know don't yet know what they ought to know. They think they know exactly what tomorrow is going to be. And you get this guy, when he lost the presidency in 2000, he made it his mission that this was going to be his mission. If I can't save America, I'll save the world.
Yep.
And that's what listen, you guys know H.L. Mencken, and I quote him in my book all the time. The urge to save humanity is almost always a false front for the urge to rule it. And that's exactly what you're seeing today.
That's great.
This is no different than any other issue. In fact, it's linked. It's linked. I wrote there are 2 chapters in my book on COVID and climate. And I wrote that before I wrote that. It was written in March. It didn't come out until September because it is. Books, it takes forever for them to come out. But in March, you could see what they were going to do with this kind of situation. So what do? You simply ask, okay, you're in charge. What's the perfect temperature of the planet? Can you explain to me why it's warming up more where it's cold and dry than where people live? Do you know where people live, where between 60 to the Arctic Circle and the Antarctic Circle? The increase in temperature is less than 0.2 of a degree over the last 50 years.
You never hear that information.
No, you do
not. Oh, my gosh, you never hear that. We're talking to meteorologist Joe Bastardi from weatherbell.com. And where can they get your book, Joe?
Well, it's on Amazon.com, BarnesandNoble.com. And, it's one of those things where, sometimes you write something. I write a lot of blogs. It gets better every time I actually read it, folks. You'll find out that
All right. Thanks, Joe. We'll see you tomorrow. Pat Gray Unleashed.
Only on the Blaze Radio Network.